Hopper, here's the one I was talking about.
This is a First Alert 7 weather day. Now an update from the First Alert Weather Center.
Well, we're still carrying the First Alert 7 weather day for the possibility of thunderstorms, but it looks like the best threat of severe weather is north and east right now. As we take a look at the live radar, we see two areas with the scattered showers and thunderstorms. All the severe weather has really been across the Edwards Plateau into the Concho Valley and into the Big Country. Even had a tornado warning a little bit earlier around the Coleman area. We're seeing more scattered showers and thunderstorms develop across portions of southeast New Mexico into parts of the South Plains. As we zoom in a little bit closer, we're seeing that for the most part, things have stayed out of the Permian Basin other than just a few showers out there. We'll zoom in and show you some of that activity moving across the city of Midland right now, but for the most part, everything is relatively light as it does push off to the north and northeast. Severe weather outlook has been shifted a little bit further off to the east because that's where the severe weather threat is going to be located. Still carrying for Big Spring, but it looks like it's now east of the Midland, Odessa area down into the extreme eastern part of the lower Trans-Pecos. We can still see possibility of large hail, strong damaging winds with any severe storms to develop, but it looks like that trend is going downward. And we still have the possibility of some heavy rain. Local amounts of up to 2 to 3 inches will be possible across the eastern Permian Basin as this front and this whole system moves across. So keep that in mind when traveling. If you can run across heavy rain, flooded roadways, turn around, don't drown. Don't cross water you don't know the depth of. As we take a look at our current temperatures, we're seeing things cool off a little bit. We're down to 54 now in Odessa, 59 out at the Midland National Air and Spaceport. So that front is making some way through the Permian Basin. It's 51 already in the Andrews area. And those winds, well, they are starting to come around to the north across the Permian Basin. As you can see, that front is sweeping across, so that's going to continue to move off to the east and take the threat of severe storms with it, as we'll see temperatures drop down into the lower 50s overnight tonight. Better weather ahead just in time for Friday night football and the weekend, and we'll talk more about that. Have another radar update for you here in a couple of minutes.
Tom, thanks for joining us here at 9. We are tracking crime now. This man, Isaiah Renteria, sentenced for a shooting of a homeless man 5 times back in 2022. Renteria, according to court documents, got into an argument with a homeless man on April 15th of 2022. He left the scene but came back the same day and shot the man 5 times, killing him. According to the Ector County District Attorney's Office, an Ector County jury sentenced him to 60 years in prison. After Tuesday's local elections finished, the city of Alpine voters passed all 9 propositions to amend their city charter. This is the first time since 2005 that any changes have been made to Alpine city charter. Mayor Catherine Eves actually wrote them herself. She started writing the propositions back in February and had to turn them into the state by August after the approval of the council. Even though all 9 propositions passed, Eves says she was still a little nervous about the outcome.
According to the state of Texas, you have to write it in this, what I call legalese type language, which can be confusing for some people. And I was afraid that they would just vote no, 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 because they didn't understand it.
Eves went on to say her goal after being elected was to increase the engagement among Alpine citizens. But in order to do that, she felt like the city had to regain their trust. Looking at news across West Texas now, specifically in the Big Bend sector of the southern border. U.S. Border Patrol has installed new autonomous surveillance towers, or ASTs as they're called, bringing the total number of surveillance towers in the Big Bend sector to 54. ASTs detect and monitor movement. ASTs, I should say, detect and monitor movement in the day or night. Border Patrol says that having that view has helped them track border crossings. According to CBP, so far in 2024, migrant encounters in the Big Bend sector are down by 58% compared to 2023. CBP says that is in part due to the towers detecting movement and agents being able to disrupt smuggling operations. While producers are waiting on updated farm bill, an agriculture advocate says when it comes to the economy, the industry is in the worst condition it has been in 50 years. That advocate blames that condition on 3 years of weather-related struggles and input costs. When you take those input costs, market prices, and revenue into consideration, the USDA projects producers of all these commodities will end the year in a net negative loss. The Farm Act, which legislators will consider when they return to session, could cover 60% of that loss. Even with this money and other assistance they may receive, one man says that cotton producers will still be in a net negative of around $50 an acre.
And so it's not making them profitable, it's helping them cash flow, helping their lenders. So by example, the impact to this region, I'll use Congressman Arrington's district as an example, it would be about $1 billion, $1 billion that would come back to his district directly.
Even if a farm bill was passed today, producers wouldn't see that money for another 2 years. Basin said that's why they need the promise, of an updated Farm Act as they ask lenders to help. According to the Odessa Police Department, the traffic lights at Yukon and Grandview are not working and are expected to be out for an undetermined amount of time. Until then, OPD is asking drivers to avoid that area as a safety precaution. Every day for the past 24 years, someone has died on a Texas roadway. So far in 2024, Texas has averaged 10 deaths on the road per day, while the fatality rate in the Odessa district has gone down. TxDOT and Texas DPS are still advocating for safe driving. On October 22nd this year, TxDOT Odessa reported that in its West Texas district, there had been only 115 fatalities, down 10 deaths from the same time last year. Law enforcement said that's in part due to improving roadways and traffic enforcement, but there is still work to do.
In Odessa, I think one of our biggest issues is intoxicated driving. I think that's a huge thing here, and that's going to take the entire community to come together. From our citizens saying, "Okay, I've had too much. I'm feeling a little tipsy. I'm going to get a ride."
This year, the 24-year deadly streak of deaths on Texas roads was almost broken. One day in January saw only one death. You may have noticed average gas prices in Midland and Odessa have gone up by over 20 cents over the past week. The average price of gas in Midland today is $2.85, which is 23 cents higher than last week. And Odessans are paying an average of $2.83 per gallon when filling up, which is 27 cents more expensive than the prices were last week. According to AAA, that rise in price could be because of supply of refined gasoline stocks, which increased week to week, while demand for fuel decreased. Even though prices in Midland, Odessa have gone up, Texas is still averaging some of the lowest gas prices in the U.S. The state average of $2.69 per gallon is the third lowest price of any state in America. On October 15th, the Ector County Independent School District Board of Trustees chose the Texas Association of School Boards, or TASB, to lead the search for the next superintendent. Tonight, TASB spoke to the board during what they called a planning meeting. First Alert 7's Rachel Fortunato attended that meeting and spoke to the president of the board about TASB's plan. Rachel?
Tonight, TASB shared a calendar with the board and their expected dates for each phase. These dates were brought in front of the board for approval and change if needed. Starting on November 8th, the first phase of TASB's plan will begin. Online surveys will be available to the entire community to provide input on what they want to see in the next superintendent. Then, in early December, TASB will spend a week in the district and hold multiple in-person meetings open to all members of the community to receive even more input.
That they don't want the board necessarily involved in some of these activities so that people can speak freely. And our community needs to know that we need their input and we need to hear their honest input.
Applications will be available to candidates until January 7th, so the board can receive all applications and start to review them on January 8th. The board members then have a week before TASB returns to pick 6 finalists each. During a meeting, TASB will review each candidate with the board, providing more information if needed.
That we might choose the same people, but then we might not. And so as we're vetting that process, I'm hoping that we have a large pool of candidates and that it's difficult.
TASB then expects the board to pick a final 6 to be interviewed. These 6 will need to pass a background check. Initial interviews with the passing candidates will start the last week of January. Up to 3 finalists will be chosen and go on to do another round of interviews in mid-February. They could be looking at a final candidate by March, which gives them plenty of time before starting their first semester in the fall of 2025.
And so that gives that person, no matter where they are, a chance to kind of finish up where they are, learning a whole new community and becoming comfortable. You don't give a person a on-ramp, a landing area so that they feel comfortable, then they just don't get off to a good start.
TASB also assured the board they will be looking nationwide for applicants. For First Alert 7 News, I'm Rachel Fortunato.
Today, the Ector County School District hosted a group that includes representatives from the Texas Education Agency and out-of-state visitors to take a look at Opportunity Culture Strategic Staffing Model. The Ector County School District has been implementing an initiative called A Culture of Opportunity in its schools for 5 years now. First Alert 7 was able to speak with the district's Executive Director of Talent Development and other participants at the expo, and here's what they had to say.
So there are many positive benefits from the Opportunity Culture program. Number one, it allows for high quality teachers to remain in the classroom and to be paid at much higher rates. So it's a retention issue, it's an incentive issue, but it also helps us tremendously with our vacancy issues and by providing a team of teachers that support our scholars in their education and making sure that we have that support and attention to what our students need.
The Culture of Opportunity program has proven to result in many positive benefits, and the Ector County School District hopes to bring the program to more schools. For more information, you can visit the Ector County ISD website. Governor Greg Abbott says there are now enough votes in Texas legislature to pass a school voucher program. He made those comments after Election Day on Tuesday. The school voucher program would give parents tax dollars to pay for their child's private schooling and other educational expenses.
When it comes to education, when it comes to most things in life, one size does not always fit all.
Abbott also says he is committed to supporting Texas public schools, which include pay raises for teachers and enhancing career training opportunities for students. Still to come, West Texas is working to keep medical talent local. More about the strong push for these professionals to stay here in West Texas. That's next in your Health Headlines. West Texas is working to keep medical talent local in a region where healthcare access can be limited. With rural communities depending on local doctors and nurses, staying here means making a big difference for our friends, families, and the workers who keep our industries running.
you don't think of this as a big city, but we provide the exact same services and we have the exact same, if not higher acuity of patients.
Tonight at 10 o'clock, First Alert 7's Isabella Garriga reports on a strong push to keep doctors, nurses, and other specialists right here and why this mission is so critical to the future.
Well, we are seeing most of the severe weather off to our east, and showers and thunder showers are going to fill in across the area later on tonight. We'll talk all about that coming up next.
Now, from the First Alert 7 Weather Center, here's Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller.
Well, let's take a look at those radars and show you that it looks like the position of the upper level low moving across New Mexico has kind of shifted to the north. So we're kind of in the dry area of all of this right now. We have seen a couple of showers here and there across portions of the Permian Basin. It picks up quite a bit across southeast New Mexico. And then the severe storms have been over towards the San Angelo area and up towards Abilene and areas north and east. Going back the past few hours, still have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect around the Sonora area for Schleicher and Sutton counties. Flash flood warnings up around San Angelo. Estimates of up to 2 inches of rain has fallen in Tom Green County and the city of San Angelo. But back across the Permian Basin, not a lot out there. Just a couple of showers, a little thunder shower activity trying to pick up here. May affect Andrews within the next 30 minutes. But for the most part, though, everything is moving off to the northeast rather quickly. It's being spun around by this upper level low that's kind of stretching out a little bit. But again, it is taking a little more of a northerly track than right across West Texas. So that is kind of limiting what we're seeing in the way of showers and thunder showers. And not to say that we're going to see some stuff overnight tonight. I still think we are going to see some things, but the severe weather threat is going to push off to the east. You can see where the bulk of the activity is from the Texas Panhandle back into portions of the Big Country, Concho Valley. And then here's the second spoke of energy coming across here with the front across portions of southeast New Mexico with some rain shower, but so far not filling in right across the Permian Basin. And that front is edging its way through the area right now. So that is going to bring some cooler air to the forecast overnight tonight. As temperatures out there, well, big difference. We are starting to see some things a little cooler here across the Permian Basin at 59 out at the Miller National Air and Spaceport, 55 in Lubbock. But on the other side of that front, it's all the way down to 36 in Albuquerque. Some reports of upwards to 2 feet of snow across northern New Mexico out of all this. 49, a little cooler there in El Paso too with that front moving across. And there you can see the warm sector where we're seeing again, the temperatures into the mid to upper 70s out there. Futurecast. Well, this model has shifted everything further off to the east. This is 10 o'clock, not seeing a lot. But across the eastern Permian Basin, it's still going to be a threat for some thunderstorms in the forecast into the evening hours. But not a lot filling in across the Permian Basin, maybe towards the early morning hours, as everything will start to clear out by the 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. We're going to see things start to clear out cloud-wise and break out in the sun tomorrow afternoon. We'll stop the clock here around 6 o'clock, getting ready for area football games. All clear out there, and that's going to continue to be the trend into your Veterans Day weekend. Severe weather threat shifting east. Now you can see that yellow shaded area not encompassing all of the Permian Basin. It has kind of shifted off to the east, but it looks like it's really moved in over towards the San Angelo area and Abilene. We still carry a flash flood watch across the extreme eastern Permian Basin. Could see isolated amounts of up to maybe 2 inches of rain plus overnight tonight that could cause some quick flooding of low-lying areas as temperatures a little on the cooler side, with thunderstorms ending after about 3 o'clock in the morning. And then for tomorrow afternoon, we're going to see temperatures into the lower 60s after starting off into the 50s. So looking at a cooler day, a little breeze in the forecast, adding to that chill a little bit. Better looking weekend. Great weather conditions are on the way Saturday into Sunday. And Veterans Day looking fantastic. 76 degrees, just a couple of clouds. And this is the start of a milder, drier trend in our forecast into next week.
Up next here at 9, this year could be the hottest on record. What climate scientists are saying in your environmental news. Up next here at 9. In environmental news, climate scientists say 2024 will almost certainly be the hottest year on record for a second year in a row. The searing statistics come on the heels of President Donald Trump's win, and now there's concern how his presidency will affect global climate change. Tina Kraus of CBS reports.
Look no further than Japan's famous Mount Fuji to see how record heat is changing the landscape. Snow finally fell on the picturesque peak this week, about a month late, the slowest snowfall in 130 years.
It's beautiful with the snow, and that was kind of what our expectations were coming.
Climate scientists say 2024 is set to be the hottest ever, shattering heat records just like last year. The torrid trends come ahead of next week's COP29 United Nations Climate Change Conference. And some leaders worry President-elect Donald Trump's return to the White House could slow global climate action.
This election result, we really get very concerned that all the talks are now going to be what will happen in the absence of the U.S.
Trump has called climate change a hoax and is promising to boost oil drilling and production. Climate experts say severe droughts, devastating hurricanes, and relentless rain like the floods that hit Spain last week signal more climate chaos to come.
There is very strong evidence suggesting that many of these extreme events have become more intense because of climate change.
Climate researchers say data clearly shows cutting greenhouse gases from the atmosphere is the only way to protect the planet and break the world's scorching heat streaks. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
Next week's UN Climate Change Conference in Abidjan is expected to focus on how to avoid more warming and how to generate trillions of dollars to help the world transition to clean energy. Still ahead, we've got one last look at your weather forecast on this first alert weather day. Chief Meteorologist Tom Teefer joins us in just a minute.
Well, checking those radars once again, I think the threat of severe weather really has shifted off to the east. We're looking at pretty quiet weather conditions as most of the storms now lining up from around Ozona back up towards the San Angelo area. A couple of severe thunderstorm warnings near El Dorado, the Sonora area, and moving off to the north and northeast. Across the Permian Basin, we've seen a few showers, thunder showers pop up. Southwest of Andrews, and even a couple of showers right across the Midland-Odessa area. Expecting that to fill in with a few more showers, maybe a rumble of thunder overnight tonight. But again, the threat of severe weather really shifting off to the east.
All right, Tom, thanks. We'll see you at 10 o'clock.